What's going on YouTube? Welcome to WestysAngling. You're joining me for a winter bait test today, and I'm going to be trying to answer a question that really interests me. Should you scale down your tackle in winter? Now, we're deep into January, so you can't get any more winter than this. We've had frosts, we've had constant rain, so I'm thinking, is it time to scale right back, and will it catch me more fish? Well, we're going to do a little bit of a test, and like all my bait tests, it's just a bit of fun. Please don't take it too seriously. There's a lot of you that take them very seriously and tell me that I'm not covering all parameters or there's too much room for error, but it's just a bit of fun, guys. If it answers a question or not, I'm out here, I'm having a good day's fishing. I'm filming this intro a little bit later in the day, and my dad's already had two nice fish as well, and his alarms are going again. But I've got my rods out at the moment because I'm going to show you the setup in a second, but let me explain what I'm going to do. So I've got two rods. I'm going to be counting the fish that we catch on each rod, but I'm going to have a scaled down rod, and I'm going to have a heavy duty rod, my normal heavy duty method feeder setup that I use year round. So I'm talking 10 pound mainline, 9 pound hook lengths, and on the scaled down rod I'm going to be using 6 pound mainline and 5 pound hook lengths. So on the scaled down rod, the bait that I'm going to be using is these Sonia Baits micro wafters, and then on the heavy duty setup I'm going to be using the Westys wafters. My dad's just fishing normally, he doesn't get involved with any of these silly bait tests. He's just got the Westys wafters out on both rods, heavy duty setup. My dad used to be of the school that you need to scale right back in winter or you won't catch. I genuinely believe that is not true. I don't think you have to scale back at all. I think the fish, if they're feeding, they'll feed year round. They're not bothered about line thickness or anything like that. I genuinely don't think it catches you any more fish. It might catch you smaller fish if you scale down, if that's what you're targeting, but it certainly won't help you catch the carp, the barbel, the tench, the bream. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. But we'll see today, that's what the test's all about. So the clicker with the blue tape on, that's going to be counting the Westys wafters catches, and the other counter, which is no tape on, that's going to be counting the catches that we get on the macro bandum wafters. So if you haven't seen these before, and this is the first time me actually using these, they're a tiny little wafter, and they balance perfectly with a size 18 hook. So I've tied some size 18 hooks on, banded with micro bait bands, and they'll balance those perfectly. Whereas the Westys wafters, I've tied my normal 9 pound Guru N-gauge hook lengths up, and these balance perfectly with a size 12 hook. Now, it's very important to balance your wafters, otherwise you're not going to get the full benefit of them, and if you don't counterbalance them correctly, they're going to be popped right up off the method feeder, which you don't want. What I'm also scaling back is the weight of my method feeders. I've got two method feeders, which I'll show you in a little bit more detail later on when I'm showing you the setup, but I've got 35 gram, these are my own brand method feeders, and I've got a 25 gram, both banjo feeders, both the same, so that's going to be a fair test. On the micro bandum wafters feeder, I'm going to be using ground bait, just ground bait, scaled right back, no pellets. And on the Westys wafters setup, I'm just going to be using 2 mils, a mix of two of my own brand 2 mils. I think that's going to give us a fair representation of what you would do when you essentially think about scaling back. Most people, they just fish ground bait, they don't bother with pellets anymore, they use lighter line, they use smaller hooks, and they really do scale everything back. A lot of these matchmen will do that during the winter months, but let's see if you need to. I just want to say as well, before I start the video, we're coming into a new year now, 2024, so what I'm going to do is I am going to set myself some goals to achieve this year. So something for you guys to follow along with and to see whether I manage to achieve them. But that video will be coming in a couple of weeks. I'm going to decide what them goals are, and we're going to try and see if we can fulfill them. If you do enjoy the video, all I ask is that you make sure you subscribe to the channel and share the video with an angling friend. That's it. And in this video, I do like to do giveaways. I'll be giving away a pot of Westys wafters. All you need to do is comment in the comment section telling me what your goal is for 2024 when it comes to fishing. What's your goal? What do you want to achieve from your fishing? I like to set myself little goals, little tasks, keeps everything more interesting. Right folks, I'm going to stop waffling, let's get into the video. Right folks, the sun's pretty much up now, as you can see. My dad's already got both his rods out, he's fishing. I'm going to get myself set up. So, already got the rods together, the method feeders are on. I've got one 25 gram method feeder there, and I've got a 35 gram method feeder on the heavier duty setup. Okay, and like I said to you before, that's a 9 pound hook length there to a size 12 hook. And on the other one, we've really scaled it back. We've got a 5 pound hook length, and we've got a tiny little size 18 hook, which will go perfectly with these micro abandon wafters. Dad's into a fish. Bloody hell, another winter tench on the Westys wafter.
Westys wafter fish choke.
It's only been in about 5 minutes, that could be a good day. Always let you have best swim, Dad. Nice fish, yeah. Right, let's get some bait mixed up so I can get fishing. They're obviously on the feed. I've been growing a new life form in here in the garage. Look at all that mould, oh my god. Just when you think you've put it back clean as well, obviously not. Jeez, I've not been fishing in about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and that's the result of it. Ugh. Ground bait I'm going to be using is this Aquastim F1 Supreme Sweet Fish Meal ground bait. And then for the pellets, I'm going to be using my own brand of pellets. I've got a few left here. It's only a short session today, so I'm not going to open any fresh bags. But I'm going to be using the Caramel Cream Dream and the Chalky Orange Halibut, both 2 mil pellets. Obviously that's a halibut base mix, and that's a fish meal base mix. And I'm just going to do a 50-50 mix of them for the method feeder. Also, as you probably know by now, if you're following the channel, everything that I'm using today is available on my website at www.westysangling.co.uk. so if you want to support the channel, feel free to go and have a nosy at that. Loads of stuff on there, method feeders, baits, merchandise, Westys Angling flasks, everything. So if you want to check it out, I'd be very grateful. I'm only going to mix about half a bag, that's all I'm going to need for today's session. I'll mix the rest of them up though, because there's no point keeping a few in the bottom of that bag. So I'm just going to stick them in there. These will take a little bit longer to prep because obviously the water's colder and they won't absorb the water as quick. Some people like to do them overnight. I'd rather do them on the bank. So we'll let them soak and we'll get the ground bait mixed up in the mould tub. That'll do us. Not going mental with it. Like I said, I'll probably be fishing through till about 1 o'clock today, and it's coming up to 8 o'clock now. I'm just going to add this water slowly because, like I said, I've not got much ground bait here. I can always mix some more if I need it. And I'll let that absorb in just while I'm waiting for the pellets, and that'll be right, that I think. Might put it through a riddle as well, just so it's really fine. Loads of sweet attraction in that. Probably going to be using a booster on both. So this is a plum booster. It's a really thick glug. Can't believe my dad's had a winter tench already. Oh, freezing. It's about 7 degrees today, so it's not too cold, but certainly not warm. Right. Like all these bait tests that I do, folks, don't forget this is just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. We're probably not going to get any conclusions from it, but if we do, we do. You never know, we might absolutely bag up on the scaled down rig. Who knows? But my prediction is that the Westys Wafters, the 8mm Wafters, are still going to absolutely kill it today. So I've got my clickers with me again, which is probably going to put the kiss of death on the day, but this is just going to help us keep a track of which setup is doing the best, if any. So I'm going to have both rods straight out, and what I'm going to do is I'll swap them over halfway through the day so it's a fair test, just so we know that it's not area that's causing the bites. Okay, so we'll swap them over halfway through the day, and also I'm going to be fishing them on the same line, so it's a fair test. I'm not going to have one closer in and one further out. I'm going to fish them on the same line. So I'll put them two next to me. Let's see how these pellets are doing. I think they'll be fine. I've been soaking for a minute or so. Drain them off. So what you can do is you can actually mix your ground bait with that, but this F1 Supreme Sweet Fish Meal ground bait has got plenty of attraction in it. I don't really need to bother doing that. I'm just going to pull that out of the way, get rid of that, empty my pellets in, give them a bit of a mix. If you don't mix them up when you put them in your tub, what you'll find is the pellets that have been on the bottom will be soggy, and the pellets that have been on the top will be drier. So I like to give them a mix every now and again. But look at that, look at them contrasting colours. They'll look great on the method feeder. So let's just check this ground bait. Yeah, so that's absorbed all that water. It's nice and fluffy. I'm going to put it through the riddle now, and we're going to get the rods out. My God, there's loads of people here. Look at that. Full lots of cars. It's not like this place in winter. Usually you don't get anybody here. Probably because we're normally fishing it in the rain, and people don't like fishing in the rain, do they? So just us idiots. It is a nice morning, to be fair. Don't blame them for being out on the bank. Right, let's put a Westys wafter on here. So that's a Westys wafter on that one. So that's that wafter on that one. And on this one, we're going to put our Sonia Baits macro wafter, which balances perfectly with the size 18. Now, I'm going to go for a yellow one to start with, and then I'll probably try a pink. Nice and visible, these little wafters. I imagine that they're going to be hard to band. First time using these actually, but I know people do well on them. I've gone for the Scope X flavour, Power Scope X, because I've done well on the bigger wafters of those. There we go. So a tiny little, probably can't even see it on the GoPro, it's awful at picking up small things, but there you go. That's the little setup. And then I'm not going to bother with the mould because you don't need it with these method feeders. I'm just going to push them in, not too tight on this one. Press my hook bait in, which sits perfectly there, and then just put a cap over the top just with my hand. Don't press it too hard. You want that cap to come off on the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to put this one straight out in line with this peg, trying to remember where I've put them. Perfect. So I want to be central lake all the time. Just going to sink my line there. Trying not to pull the feeder bait runner on. Right, that's that one fishing. Let's get this one out quickly so it's a fair test. Oh, I didn't put any booster on, it's because I'm rushing. I want to get fishing. I'll put the booster on the next cast, but I won't put it on either on this one. Right, the smell coming off these pellets is amazing. Those chocolate orange pellets have so much attraction in them, definitely. So I'm going to go midway out again. That's absolutely perfect. The fish seem to hold to the middle line here at high haze in winter. And there we go, we're fishing. Let's put this out of the way. Fill up the old Westys angling flask. There we go. Just easier than filling up my cup every now and again. Oh. Right, let's see which one does the best. What are your predictions, folks? And no cheating, not after you've watched the video before. Which do you think is going to do better? The Westys Wafters, the Westys Salmon Pink Washed Out Wafters, or the Sonia Baits Macro Abandon Wafters on the scaled down setup? It's my prediction that it genuinely won't make a difference. I don't think the fish are bothered about lighter line. I don't think they're bothered about smaller baits. To be fair, it might help us pick up a couple of eyed or something like that. Maybe some different smaller species. Who knows? I'm actually quite interested because I've never fished really this lighter setup with size 18 hooks and this smaller bait. So it'd be interesting to see if I do manage to pick up any different species. The carp goes £26 in here, so if I manage to hook one of those £26 carp, chance of me getting it in on £5 method feeder hook length, it is very, very slim. But you've got to be in it to win it. I'd have more of a chance of getting a £24 carp in on this setup with the £10 main line and also the £9 hook length, definitely. But on this one, I think I'll be playing it for about 3 hours if I manage to land it. I mean, even the average size of carp in here is like £10. They don't really go much smaller than that, you know. And barbel as well. We had a winter barbel last time we came here. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner for you. Also, if you don't know how to tie up your own method feeder hook lengths, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner for that video as well. Well, I've just put the pencil light up. I'm going to move to this peg here next to my dad. There's some fellas turned up on the opposite bank and I think it's rude filming people, so I'm just going to move everything round this way and have my 2 rods straight out where they were. But the way it's digging, I'm thinking probably F1. Oh, it's trying to get under that bank though. Proper stirring up the silt. It might be a barbel, Dad, but with the head shakes, I doubt it. Really angry fish. On the old Westys Wafters. Barbel, yeah, it's a good barbel, that, Dad. My God. Winter barbel. Dad, that's a really good fish. Look at that. That's definitely the biggest barbel we've had out of here. 100%. The barbel absolutely love the Westys Wafters. I don't know what it is about them, but look at how silver this fish is. It's reflecting the light off the camera. Beautiful fish. Look at the condition of it. That's a chunk, that, Dad. It might be worth a picture, that.
Yeah, it's in good condition.
It is really good condition. Look at that beast. Turn it side on for me, Dad. Let's have a look at it. Look at that. Still water barbel. Yeah. I can't, Dad, that is a lovely fish.
It's pristine.
That's worth coming out for, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at how thick it is from the top there. What a beast.
Right, we're going to get it back, but
What a chunk. I had a feeling it was a barbel the way it was trying to dig under this bank here. Brilliant, Dad. I've not even got my rods out. Not even got my rods out there. Wow. On the old Westys Wafters. If you've tried them, you'll know how good they are. It sounds like a sales pitch, but it's genuinely not. I'm not fussed whether you go and buy them or not. Don't worry about that. But I've got loads of confidence in them. We've had every single species on them. The barbel and tench love them. Bream love them. We've had good carp on them. Right, Westys Wafters on. Tiny little band of wafters on. Let's get them out. I've had to move swims because, like I said to you, there's somebody started fishing opposite, and I just think it's really rude filming somebody when they're trying to have a relaxing day. I like to have a little bit of etiquette. Can't stand these influencers that think they own the place. Right, let's put a bit of glug on this time, shall we? It's good stuff, this. I've also got my own brand of glug out. It's in the trial stages at the moment, but it is available on the website. So if you want to try it out, you can. That's all right, that's in the middle. I'm just going to fish them straight out there. But I know it probably sounds like I'm selling them, folks, but my dad having two really nice winter fish so far so quickly on the Westys Wafters is just a testament to them, really, isn't it? You know me, folks, I am about as straight as you can get. There's no bullshit. They work really well. I'd never try and sell you anything that I didn't think worked, and I wouldn't sell anything that I didn't think worked either. Prefer the credibility than the money. Right, all that goo dripping off it. Let's get this one over here. Perfect, that. Tighten up to them. No, we're fishing again, folks. Oh, like my dad just said, the only thing that might go against us today is there's absolutely no breeze on the water, and we always tend to do a little bit better on high haze when there's a bit of a ripple on. I don't know why that is, it just seems to be that way. Two fish already, it's not really a bad sign, is it?
Two nice fish as well, that belted.
Yeah. Alright, let's have a recast of these. They've been in about half an hour. Usually I'd leave them about 40 minutes, but with it being the first cast in this swim, I just want to build a little bit of bait up on the bottom. Let's go with a little pink. All these colours will stand out well against that black ground bait, and the black ground bait will stand out well against the bottom here. It's the bottom's like a clay colour. You can see how you don't need a mould. There we go. Got to do a really light cast with these rods because they're a 2 1/4 test curve. They're fairly sturdy rods. Probably a touch too far, that. We're a little bit too far out, but it'd be right. Don't overthink it. Tell you what, these WestysAngling flasks keep your brew absolutely red hot. Scorching, that. Dad, you got a fish on. Here we go, we're in. Now this is on the little wafter, so I'm gonna have to take it easy. Well, every man for himself, innit? Yeah, it's dropped back. No, this is on the scale down one. I don't want to drag it in. Only a little bream, but definitely a small bream for here. But that's one for the scaled down rig. Oh, see, it's unhooked itself in the net. With such a small hook, you don't really get a very good hook hold. Tiny little hook. But there we go. Let's get it back out. Save the blank. So that's one fish for the scaled down methods. Right, let's get this back out. We'll stick with the pink. Right, where were we there? Just before halfway towards that tree there. Oh, sunglasses have come off. Just dropped my sunglasses in the mud. Ugh, brand new sunglasses as well. So my subscribers had 2 carp today on the pink wafters. I've just been down and give him some Westys wafters to have a go with, but he's fishing into the corner and the wind's actually blowing that way, and I know that, I think the carp in here definitely follow the wind, don't they? They seem to anyway. It seems to be the way. But a bit quiet up this side today after them first 2 nice fish and my dad's. I'll probably be getting smaller fish on the scaled down method, and I might get a chunk at some point today on the Westys wafter. I think that's the way it'll go. But really nice to see people on the bank, innit, Dad?
Yeah, there's a few on to it.
Probably, what, 8 other anglers on? It's not like this at this time of year, is it, normally? No. Might be a bream on the Westys wafter. That's, oh no, it was swimming towards me. Might put me at bream swim today, Dad. Turn my drag down, drag's right up. Tench, maybe? It's not a bream. Would have been in by now if it was a bream. Yes, tench. Winter tench. They love the Westys wafters, don't they, in winter? Look at it, it's jumping all over the place. Oh. It must have started swimming straight towards me because...
Yeah.
Well, that's 1 all at the moment. It is. It's not as big as yours, Dad. Oh, hook's come out, isn't it? Look. No, it isn't. Yours was much bigger than that. Yeah. Right. Let's put a click on the Westys wafter. Take that one easy, Dad. I think that's a good fish. God, it shot off that. Let's get the Westys wafter back out and we'll see what my dad's got on. But folks, this is why we love fishing at high haze in the winter. It's a carp. Get this on. Get it out. Yeah, it is. I do think they've probably got a bit of koi in them or something like that, because they've got these like orange flecks in here. Yeah, tilt it towards yourself. Let's have a look at it.
Quite a few on.
See, yeah. Brilliant, Dad. Right, I've just swapped back onto a yellow micro wafter. Bit of plum liquid on. Let's get that out. The reason I'm using the liquids today is, as we've learnt on the underwater footage, the visibility will be really low because we had quite a bit of rain last night. We're in on the Westys wafter again. And a heavy duty setup. It's holding deep, isn't it? That's an F1. Oh, yeah, F1. Up perfectly in the side of the mouth, as they always are on the method feeder. Oh, oh, oh. Just up, mind you. Again, this has got the same gold flaking in. Only one little patch though. Oh. Let's get it back and get it baited back up. I will swap these rods over halfway through the day today as well. So I'll have the lighter setup over that way and the heavy duty setup on the right there with the Westys wafter. But 2-1 at the minute. Let's get it baited back up and get it out. I usually leave the wafter quite prominent. And what happens is the pellets will bubble up around the wafter and cover it anyway. And just leave it showing a tiny bit. And I find that that works well. I always get it near enough the same spot every time. I just pick a far bank marker and I'm aiming for mid-lake. No need to clip up. Oh. What we on, Dad, there? 3 apiece, is it? Have you had?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
We're going on number, not size, aren't we?
No size, because I'm
Oh. I'm not bothering with the underwater camera today. Like I said, for those of you that are following the channel, you'll know that the underwater camera doesn't work well after rain. The visibility is next to nothing. It might have been alright today because there's quite a bit of sun, but I wanted to do this little test, and it's not really a fair test if there's a camera on one.
These look quite coloured, the water, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially around the edges, I've noticed. There must be quite a bit of runoff.
Yeah, I think there is up the part.
Because I think that this is a mud banking, isn't it? And you'll get a lot of runoff and mud and crap going into the water there. This is on the scaled down rod. It's a braid. There we go. So, there we go. It's in the net. Yeah, that's it, exactly. There you go, there's a size 18 with a little bream. That's 2 apiece. But smaller fish on the smaller bait, as you'd expect. That was on a yellow one that time. Well folks, this is something new for the channel, isn't it? The old current bun's out. It is so warm in that sun, it's lovely. Really nice morning to be out fishing. Not too bad so far. I'm sorry about the plane. Like a microlight, I think. It's turning into quite a good day's fishing as well. I've had 2 fish on each rod, both on the heavy duty and the scale down methods. My dad's had some nice fish as well, so it's been a good day's fishing so far. I almost didn't come as well. I almost texted my dad saying I'm not going to bother today because I woke up late, and for any of you that live in Manchester, you know what fighting the M60 on the way back this way is towards Wigan area. It's hard work. So rather than sit in traffic for an hour and a half, you know, I was going to call it a day. And I didn't manage to get off to sleep until about maybe 1 AM, something like that. Just could not get to sleep. I don't know what it was. I always find it a struggle when I'm fishing the next day to sleep. I think it's because I know that I'm up early and I know that I need to sleep, that it just makes it so hard to drift off. But I managed to drag myself out of bed, and luckily the traffic wasn't bad at all, so got straight here. I was here for about 7:30, and the sun was just about coming up, and I had plenty of light to get myself set up. But I'm really glad I dragged myself out of bed. Once you're up, that's the main battle, in it. But yeah, I thought, oh, I don't want to sit in traffic on the way here, but it wasn't too bad, thank God. And I really wanted to do this bait test as well. This is something that I've had in my head to do for a while, and as we've already seen, it doesn't really matter about scaling down. It's just going to help you target different types of fish, smaller fish that maybe wouldn't take an 8mm wafter. But I've not caught any hide, I've not caught any roach, I've not caught any smaller silverfish really, so I would say it's probably not worth scaling back. It's obviously not put the fish off feeding. The heavier line, the heavier hook lengths, the bigger hooks, it's not put them off. You know, we've had some really nice fish today, and what it's going to allow you to do by not scaling right back, it's going to allow you to land the bigger fish as well if you do happen to hook one. You know, the chance of you getting a decent carp or a decent barbel in on a size 18's hook and a 5-pound hook length. Obviously I've gone for the two extremes. I've gone for about as heavy as I'd ever fish on a method feeder and about as light as I've ever fished on a method feeder. So I've gone for both extremes of it, and it is interesting that I've had the smaller fish on the smaller stuff and the bigger fish on the bigger wafters. It might sound obvious, but I didn't know if it was going to work that way or not, so pretty interesting. It's about 11:15 now. We're going to stay till about 1 o'clock, like I've said, so we've got a good couple of hours fishing left, so hopefully I can pick up a few more fish in that time. We never really do full days because I only get 1 day off a week. You know, I need to do editing, I need to do normal house jobs like tidy up and whatnot, you know, because I live on my own and there's nobody else to do it for me, so I need to do all them things as well, so I need the time to do all that. So we usually squeeze a morning in, we'll get here first thing, and then we stay till about 1-2 o'clock. So if you never see us on the bank, that's probably why. we're here for the morning, and then usually we get packed up and call it a day. So these sessions that you see, they're not full day sessions, they're like half days. So I think we do quite well, especially at this time of year. Right, so we've caught on the yellow and we've caught on the pinky coloured one. Let's try a red. Like I said, I know that the Power Scope X is a good flavour. There we go. I'm finding that the size 18 is coming out in the net more often than not. These red ones are a nice colour. And again, touch of the old glug. Sometimes I just sprinkle a little bit of ground bait over the top to keep that glug on, rather than having it drip off. I've got a feeling I've got a fish on here on the Westys wafter yet. It's just not taking line. Good bream, is it? Battery's going to die on this. Oh, it is, yeah, it's a nice bream, that. Let's get the old net ready. Oh, lovely bream. Oh, it's a good bream. Really good bream. Look at that thing. That's a proper bream, that, folks. Oh. Get that out of its way. Look at that. Absolute slab. It's got a bit of a nibbled tail, this one, but look at that. Nice chunky slab, isn't it?
Yeah.
One more for the Westys wafter, Dad. There we go. One more for the heavy duty setup. 3-2. Right, so I'm about halfway through the session now. I've just put that fish back, so I'm going to swap the rods over. I'm going to have the scaled down set up over there, and I'm going to have the Westys wafter straight out here, so it's a fair test. Oh, Westys wafter's off. Oh, well, now this is random. Is this a baby crucian on the Westys wafter? This is the kind of thing that I expect on the other one. Come and look at this, Dad. Oh my god, look at this. We put it on times 16 zoom. It's tiny. Look at that. Oh my god. Little baby crucian. Well, there you go, folks. Small fish on big baits. That's another one for the scaled up method. So that's 4 against 2 now. We're starting to get a clear winner, which, to be honest with you, I expected. Especially on my wafters. My subscriber down the bottom over there, he's in again. He's had a few carp today. The carp must have pushed all the way up that side, probably because of the breeze. Pretty still calm down this side. I've had a couple of F1s, but no actual carp. Commons or mirrors. He's on the Westys wafters now, I bet, after I give him some. They're heading in the right direction size wise, I think, though. A little bit bigger. Yeah, similar size to that first one, I think. Maybe a bit smaller. I'm impressed with these method feeders. They work well. Definitely better quality than the old flea bay banjo feeders. That went in like a cannonball. Westy. Absolutely no feathering on that cast whatsoever. All them pellets have probably come off. Well, this sun is absolutely beaming down. Clear blue skies, it's lovely. I'm gonna have to get packed up soon. It's gone really quiet actually, and you usually find this at high haze. About midday, the fishing tends to die off. You'll find that at most places, to be honest with you. When the sun's highest in the sky, it tends to kill the fishing off for a couple of hours, and then they'll usually come back on the feed, you know, towards sort of like 2-3 o'clock ish. I'm gonna give it another maybe half an hour and then start packing away. But results are pretty definitive. We've got 4 fish on the scaled up method and 2 fish on the scaled down method, the little micro wafters, and I had a feeling it was going to go this way, but I thought it'd be pretty close. And I mean, 2 fish, it's not exactly conclusive, is it? But the fish that we've caught on the heavy duty setup are fish that you're glad to come out and catch. You know, if I'd have just caught those 2 little bream all day, I think I would have been slightly disappointed and wish I'd have stayed in bed. But I've had some nice fish on the Westys wafters, and so has my dad. I'll let you know if we get anything else, but if we don't, like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a comment in the comment section for a chance to win yourself a pot of Westys wafters, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Westys Angling. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Well, I didn't have anything else, unfortunately, but I've just got mine and my dad's pellets and ground bait together there, and I'm going to stick it all in the freezer because it's perfect for like river sessions and stuff like that. So I either seal it up in a plastic bag and freeze it, and that'll be perfect for if we ever do like a summer session where the fish aren't as fussy, or on the river.